Hello and welcome into this week's NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series Rewind show right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from R&N. On today's Trucks Rewind, we're looking back at Saturday's 21st Annual NASCAR Hall of Fame 201 laps, just a bit into overtime, 105 miles around the half-mile Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. This was a crazy race. Honestly, I think this was one of the crazier races we have seen at Martinsville in recent years, and that's saying something with some of the Cup races that we've seen lately, with the whole Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott thing a couple years ago, the Logano Truex thing last year. We've seen some crazy stuff at Martinsville, but I think this one takes the cake for maybe not the most crazy race we've seen recently, but it's up there definitely. There was a lot happening in this race, a lot of playoff contenders having troubles in this race. So let's start off, as we always do, with the caution flags. We had 12 caution flags in this race for a total of 80 laps. This was carnage filled. Only caution in the first stage for an incident came at lap 18 as the 49 of Ray Cicerelli spun in turn 4. Stage 1 concluded at lap 50 with Brett Moffitt taking the Stage 1 victory. He started outside pole, outside of Christian Eckes, took the lead very early in this one, and was very strong early on in the race. That would not last, though. In Stage 2, we had a couple of cautions. First one at lap 80 as the 15 of Tanner Gray spun in turn 2. This was his first Truck Series appearance. Lap 91, the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek and the 99 of Ben Rhodes got together on the backstretch. Stage 2 concluded at lap 100 with Sam Mayer taking the Stage 2 victory. Yes, the same Sam Mayer that just won the Cannon East Championship, making his second Truck Series start, and put on an absolutely fantastic show. Very strong there in the mid portions of the race. Unfortunately, that would not last for him either. Stage 3 was detrimental for a lot of folks. Lap 117, Brett Moffitt would be the first to fall for Stage 3 as he got in an incident with the 33 of Dawson Cram, the 44 of Jeb Burton, and the 54 of Natalie Decker in turn 4. That would be the end of the day for Brett Moffitt. He had pitted on Stage 2 and a lot of the other front runners hadn't, trying to make his way through the field, and just gets caught up in someone else's mess. Lap 124, multi-truck incident in turn 2 that set up a 15-minute red flag, and this would be where we would lose a few more of our playoff contenders involved in this incident. The 02 of Tyler Dipple, Todd Gilliland, Austin Hill, Tyler Ankrum, Sam Mayer, Brett Moffitt, the 30 of Danny Bone, Grant Enfinger, and Ben Rhodes, all involved in this lap 124 incident. So you heard a lot of playoff contenders in that one. That first incident hadn't completely finished off Brett Moffitt. This one did finish off Brett Moffitt, as well as Austin Hill. Tyler Ankrum tried to putz around for a few laps. That truck was absolutely destroyed, though, and he could not make minimum speed, so that didn't really work for him. That was the end of the day for Sam Mayer. Grant Enfinger was able to kind of rebound, but that would be the end of the competitive day for Ben Rhodes as well. Lap 141, the 49 of Ray Cicerelli spun in turn 1. Lap 150, Johnny Sauter gets into the back of Stuart Friesen off of turn 4, sends him around for a caution. Lap 163, Jordan Anderson, Norm Benning, and Spencer Boyd all get together on the front stretch. Lap 181, we had debris in turn 4, the axle out of Jennifer Jo Cobb's truck, as she was having a bit of an issue at that point. And lap 196, this caution would be the one that set up overtime, as Jordan Anderson, Gus Steen, and Natalie Decker all got together in turn 2. 8 lead changes in this race among 7 drivers. Brett Moffitt led the most at 80 laps. Ross Chastain led 68. 33 laps went to Sam Mayer. 11 laps led by Todd Gilliland. 7 laps went to Grant Enfinger. 2 laps to Christian Eckes. And 1 lap was led by Johnny Sauter. All right, on to your results. Brett Moffitt won the first stage and led the most laps, but of course, as we know, did not get to the end of the race because of those first 2 incidents in Stage 2. Sam Mayer won Stage 2. But again, he got caught up in that big one there in Stage 3 as well, so he did not make it to the end. Todd Gilliland led some laps. Ross Chastain led a lot of laps. Christian Eckes started from the pole and was very fast. Who would come out on top in this survival of the fittest race from Martinsville, which is kind of what it turned into? And it would be the Ford truck of Todd Gilliland taking home his first Truck Series victory. He had to fight real hard with Ross Chastain there at the end of the race, but was able to come home with the victory. An impressive drive by Todd Gilliland at the end of this race. Very, very strong run for him, and good to see that he was able to put together a good showing, as really he doesn't know what he's doing next year. It's been all but confirmed at this point that he will not be back at KBM next year. So really, I don't think he knows what he's doing next year, or if he does, it's been very hush-hush. So I think this is a really good shot in the arm for his career to say, hey, I can still drive and I can still do this, and I do still deserve opportunities in top-notch equipment. So we'll see what this does for Todd going forward. Hopefully this helps land him in a good ride going forward. Ross Chastain fought and clawed there at the end of the race, led a lot of laps, 68 total, but came up just short there in second. Johnny Sauter third, Grant Enfinger fourth, and Timmy Hill in a family-owned truck. Fantastic run for him in that 56 truck. He came home in fifth. Rest of your top 10 were Stuart Friesen, John Hunter Nemechek, Danny Bone, Jeb Burton, and Cody Robaugh. 11th through 20th, Sheldon Creed had a very fast truck on the day, maybe the fastest truck on track at different points. Unfortunately got shuffled out there at the end and wasn't able to contend for the win at the end of the race. He came home in the 11th position. Spencer Boyd, your winner from a couple weeks ago in Talladega, came home with a top 15. Even after all the incidents, he was caught up in 15th on the day for Spencer Boyd. Ben Rhodes there in 16th. Then we see Christian Eckes down here in 17th, not indicative of the day he had. Got caught up in an incident there on the last lap in turns 3 and 4. I guess that's my understanding. Of course, as a lot of us know that were watching Fox for this race, their feed cut out and we did not get to see overtime. So I'm just kind of feeling my way what I've seen through on social media. But that's my understanding is he was running pretty well there on the last lap. I want to say he was third or fourth. He'd fought his way back up there after playing bumper cars a little bit with Sheldon Creed and Ross Chastain there late in the event. Had fought his way back up either third or fourth there on the last lap, and then unfortunately got caught up in what looked like a fairly big incident in 3 and 4. Harrison Burton getting caught up in a completely separate incident there in overtime. He was battling for second with Ross Chastain coming off of turn 2 in overtime and ends up looping it around there off of turn 2. Not indicative of the day he had. It was a very strong showing all around for Kyle Busch Motorsports today. Unfortunately, only one of them was able to come away with a decent finish at the end of the day. Tanner Gray in his Truck Series debut came home with a top 20 finish in 20th, even after a couple incidents he was caught up in on the day. 21st through 30th, Natalie Decker down here in the 22nd position. Matt Crafton, not a good day for him. Had some incidents early and was never able to recover. 8 laps off the pace in 23rd. We see a lot of playoff names on this list, on this page, not on top of Matt Crafton here. We got Tyler Ankrum in 25th, Austin Hill 26th. Sam Mayer, not a playoff driver, but definitely was a contender in this race. He ended up in 28th, and Brett Moffitt down here takes the biggest hit of a playoff driver on the day. He came home in 29th. Final page at 31st, 32nd, Josh Reaume and Cody McMahon. So that's your results from the NASCAR Hall of Fame 200. Working on a Todd Gilliland interview. Not 100% sure when that's going to be. We're working on the logistics of that. So if that has already gone up, it will be linked down below in the description. If not, just make sure you're subscribed and you got your notifications turned on. You'll know when that comes out. But in the meantime, we're going to send you over to the Media Center. We will see what Todd and his team had to say immediately following this win.
Yeah, what a race. I'd say we didn't have quite the speed just overall. to start the race, I was really tight. We made one pit stop and made it a lot better, where I could contend for probably top 5. And then we were in a wreck, knocked the nose in, knocked the whole right side in. We were going to stay out, but we decided the tires were going to probably rub. So we came in and got 4 fresh tires and made even more adjustments. And, I think we made our truck a ton better throughout the race. Played the pace of the whole race really well. After we got that last set of tires, just picked people off kind of methodically, and 40 laps is a long time here, even at the end when we were up in like 4th or 5th. So just about controlling it from there, and just being smart.
Well, just wow right off the bat. I mean, Todd deserves every bit of it. KBM, they fought really hard for Todd, and Todd's fought really hard. It always seems like it's something. He's been in position to win quite a few races, and it just hadn't happened. So to finish it off the day is amazing for Todd, his family. KBM's worked really hard. Hadn't been in victory lane with, I guess you call it the kids, and Todd and Harrison has been under a lot of scrutiny for that, but he prevailed today, and just what a race. I mean, we went through a little bit of everything. I mean, it was a true team sport today. The crew guys did an amazing job with everything that was wrong. There at the end with about 30 to go, it was spewing water. I think the radiator ducting's knocked out of it. I really didn't think it was going to make it, and it was going to be another one of those scenarios where it's like, well, almost, Todd, but today it happened, and it's pretty cool.
All right, so let's take a look at your playoff grid. 2 races remaining in the 2019 Truck Series schedule. 1 race left in the round of 6 before we set the championship 4. Again, with Todd Gilliland winning this race and Spencer Boyd winning at Talladega, we have no one locked into the championship 4 on wins yet. That being said, Brett Moffitt and Stuart Friesen are pretty well set at this point. A 35-point gap for Stuart Friesen and a 45-point gap for Brett Moffitt. So both of them are pretty well set at this point, as long as they have decent runs at Phoenix. Not locked in by any means. Under the right set of circumstances, under a very bad day, both Moffitt and Friesen could fall out of this championship 4. They are not locked in on points by any means, with stage points being a thing, and the possibility of like a 50-60 point swing in one race. Hypothetically, if one of these two fell out very early in this race before stage 1 concluded, didn't get any stage points, and finished near the back, similar to what Brett Moffitt did today. Of course, he did win that first stage, so he got the stage points for that, but ended up in 29th on the day. So not a great day, not a great finish for Brett Moffitt. If something similar to that were to happen at Phoenix, it is hypothetically possible that Moffitt and Friesen could fall out. 20-point gap for Ross Chastain here. He's fairly safe with a decent day at Phoenix. Again, it is very possible for him to fall out, but as long as he has a solid day at Phoenix, doesn't even need to have a great day. As long as he has a solid day, picks up a few stage points, finishes top 10 or so, he's pretty well locked in. So in essence, we've got about 3 guys going for 1 spot in this championship 4 without some bad luck from Moffitt, Friesen, or Chastain. Austin Hill, Matt Craft, and Tyler Ankrum all going for that 4th spot here in the championship 4. And they're all fairly close here. 15 points is the separation from Austin Hill to Tyler Ankrum in 6th, and 9 points between Austin Hill and Matt Crafton, who's in 5th currently. I know Austin Hill has been running better lately, and I think he's finally figured out how to consistently run up front in that 16 truck. That being said, I think Matt Crafton finds a way to weasel his way into that championship 4. The wily old veteran in him, I don't think is going to go down without a fight at this point. I think Matt Crafton may even sneak in a win here at Phoenix and vault himself into the championship 4. Now, once he does that, do I think he's a legitimate championship contender? Not really. I don't see him being able to compete with Brett Moffitt and Ross Chastain on the level that they have been on this season, but I think he can outduel Austin Hill for 9 points at Phoenix. We'll see how that plays out, but I think that's how this works out. I think Austin Hill and Tyler Ankrum are going to be the ones eliminated after Phoenix. Now, that could go either way. Any of those three could win at Phoenix. Any of the top three here could win at Phoenix. As we've already seen in this round, anybody that's not in these 6 could win at Phoenix. We could go this whole round and not have a current playoff driver win in this round, and everybody could go into Homestead on points. Nobody locked in with a win. So we'll see what happens here. Phoenix is going to be an interesting one, definitely. But that's your playoff grid following the NASCAR Hall of Fame 200 from Martinsville, and I believe that'll do it for us on this Truck Series Rewind. Like I said, Todd Gilliland interview should be coming up here within the next day or two. If it's already up, it will be linked down below in the description. If not, make sure you are subscribed and you got your notifications turned on. That way you know exactly when that comes out. Should be an interesting interview with him talking about finally picking up his first Truck Series win in almost 2 years in the series. But while you're down there hitting that subscribe button, make sure you hit that big thumbs up button if you like the video. It is much appreciated when you do that and helps us out so much when you do that. But at that, this has been the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series Rewind Show. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.